I am with Enoch of Fryx Games, and we are going to find out about a really fascinating, really well-produced, and actually handmade board game called Wilderness. Enoch, can you tell us a little bit maybe about the concept of the game, and then we'll kind of delve into the artfulness of the game that's sitting on the table here in front of us.
Yeah. This game is actually an old family invention that has been worked on for decades. And finally we're bringing it to the market. So what you see here is the first Handmade Edition. Wilderness is a game of survival. You start at one end of the board, and the goal of the game is to get from one side to civilization that waits on the other end. On the way there, you have to keep track on your thirst, your hunger and your exhaustion. You have to avoid wild animals that will attack you if you come too near. And it's a game of handling, illness, exhaustion. And the principal game concept is that you have to have a balance between playing your cards at the best way, keep track of your health, and find the best way through the wilderness. And it's also a game of exploration, as the landscape are revealed as you move along.
Nice.
As soon as you reach the edge, a new tile will be revealed, and so the game continues. And
each of these is a different type of terrain, I assume?
The game comes with 8 unique landscape tiles. Like this one, with a snake on it. And from these 8 unique tiles, you randomize the games. You will never play 2 games Wilderness that is the same. It will be different every time. What we see here displayed today is a short game with only 4 tiles. Normally, you will play these games and expand it by using 2 more randomly. Landscape tiles. And there's also the opportunity to play a marathon, of course, and use all 8 of them, which we usually do at home, but it takes a lot of time.
But you're experts, right?
We're experts, right? It's a game that requires your skill.
Okay.
And it requires your ability to adapt to different situations.
And those are determined by the different cards that come out? Those are they represent the different dangers that you're going to have to overcome during the course of the game?
The event cards are actually played by the players.
Okay.
You use them in your hand, and the events card is played either to do something good to yourself or to hurt someone else. And often that's the person who's
farthest ahead.
Farthest ahead, yeah, that's right. So it's a cruel game, and you have to be prepared for the worst.
Maybe talk a little bit about the production value, because these are all handmade. There's a lot more that goes into the manufacture of a game like this than sending it off to a factory. Talk a little bit about maybe some of the different components here that we see, and the labor and the art that goes into making a game yourself.
This is a result of game passion. And if you buy this version of the game, you pay mostly for the hard work, because this is hours and hours of work.
Those are all little metal figurines, correct?
Metal figurines, right?
All hand painted?
All hand painted. And of course they are sculptured, hand sculpted.
Oh, wow.
To begin with. These are replicas, of course, but the originals are handmade by us.
Oh gosh, okay.
And the landscapes, they are cut by hand. All the cards in these games are printed by hand as well. They are not printed like from a big company.
Okay.
They're printed like home. So that's why we have them in this kind of plastic
sleeves,
tubs.
yes.
And to make these kind of things, this is how you randomly move when you get lost in this game, because you could get lost.
How long does it take to make, well, let's say a single copy? I realize you probably have an assembly line. You don't make one at a time, but if you can you even put an hour total on it, or is it more than you care to admit?
Oh, this is definitely, there are many hours work per game. Many hours work per game. And these are also made by hand. The holes are made by hand also.
Wow.
So it's a lot of work, and it's all homemade, and that's the touch we want every player to have. This is game passion.
Mm-hmm. Now, so it's almost as much an art object as it is a game in some sense, or a collector's item. And so as a result, probably the price is a bit higher than a normal game that you would buy that's mass produced, of course.
We are here to show a new game, and we can't wait to mass produce this game. So I think it will always be a market for people really passionate about this game. We will always have a handmade edition for them, but for the greater audience, we hope to print this on larger scale soon.
So what's the target audience? Is this a game for families, for children, for people super, very much gamers? What do you think? Who's this game trying to speak to?
This is absolutely a family game.
Okay.
Absolutely a family game. You can be 2 to 8 players. And it's a good game, no matter how many you are.
How long does it take to play with?
It will take you a long game. That's the beauty of it. You can choose the length of the games by choosing the tiles, but it could take you 1.5 hours. It could take you a little more if you play the marathon.
Right.
And if you're a lot of players, of course.
Well, tell us a little bit about your company here before we wrap up. You're all brothers here in the company?
We're all brothers. We come from one of the largest families in Sweden. And actually we are 10 brothers in the family.
Wow.
4 of us is in the company that we made this year. So we're all new to this. And we come here with a lot of expectations to reach a greater audience. Because these games have been in our family for decades. But finally, we present them to a larger audience.
Well, if people want to find out more about Fryx games, do you have a website? Where could they go online to find out more about your games?
We have a great website. Visit us at www.fryxgames.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck here at Essen.
Thank you.